I am Dr. Sayyid Ammar Nakshawani, and this message is brought to you by the Muhsin and Fawziya Ja'far Foundation.
Does Islam hate Christianity? Do Muslims hate Christians? Now, I can't blame you if you're watching this video and you've seen the behavior of ISIS. Even I, as a Shia Muslim, was affected by the behaviors of ISIS. I'm a Muslim, and they still didn't have a problem with beheading me or beheading members of my family, my community at large, and my sect. Indeed, the victims of ISIS, one may argue, are two main groups. There may have been others, but the two main groups were symbolized by the letter Ra and the letter Nun. The letter Ra referred to the Shia and the Rawafid, and the letter Nun referred to the Nasrani and the Christians. And so when a person looked at the atrocious behavior, despicable behavior of ISIS, they couldn't but help reach the conclusion that Islam as a religion hates Christianity, or that Muslims hate Christians. But once again, this couldn't be further from the truth. Islam as a religion is not a religion that hates people because of what ideology they've decided to follow. I would even argue that when one examines Islam and its outlook on even the polytheists which surrounded the new Muslim community, you'll find that the problem wasn't their polytheistic conclusion, but rather the stagnation of thought, following fathers blindly without reflecting on some of the theological conclusions that they've reached. If a person says that Islam hates Christianity, there is more than enough in the Holy Quran for a person to refer to where we can find the doors of dialogue open, where we can sit together and break bread on the same table. For goodness sake, we have more in common with each other than we have differences. One God in the sense of the monotheistic belief. I don't want to go into the differences concerning how that one God is defined and the Trinity. The base is monotheism. Then there is an understanding of great prophets of God. The Noah is discussed in the Bible, is Noah discussed in the Quran with slight differences. You may find Moses in the Bible, Moses in the Quran, Abraham, Bible, Abraham, Quran. And likewise Christ in the Bible, Christ in the Quran. We have the episode about how does Islam view Christ. So when you're looking at this, therefore, you find that within the Holy Quran, likewise in chapter 5, verse number 82, God speaks about the humility of monks and priests. If Islam hated Christianity, when the Quran would be speaking, why would the Quran mention that the monks and the priests are humble human beings? Likewise, it's the same Quran that orders the Muslims to follow and ensure that the churches are not desecrated, that churches are protected, that churches are looked after. Further than that, in chapter 3 of the Holy Quran, you find this incident known as the incident of Mubahala. And in that incident, there is a dialogue between the Prophet Muhammad and his family, as well as the Christians of the land of Najran. Further than that, in that same chapter, there is a discussion about the importance of dialogue with the people of the book and coming to a joint word between us and them. And it really shouldn't be a case of us and them. At the end of the day, we are all the children of Adam and Eve, and we're all trying to find the path and trying to understand the world that we live in. And that's why there's a need for dialogue. Can one point to the fact that some Muslims may hate Christians? I can point to the fact that there are some Christians who hate Muslims. And yes, it may be a dire situation in some countries where the extremes of both religions have led people to conclude that there is a hatred that exists. But I've also seen people who've done fantastic interfaith work. And that interfaith work that you see, for example, in London, one of our teachers, Sheikh Shomali, being a prime example of a person who highlights the importance of interfaith work between the Muslim community and the Christian community, as well as so many wonderful books about dialogue, for example, between Catholicism and Shiism, looking at the comparisons between Mary and Fatima, and so on and so forth. We cannot bring up our children in a world where people have hate, rather a world where we are able to understand each other, engage in dialogue, look through the lens of the other, and if we have to agree or agree to disagree, live in peace and harmony. And as Imam Ali alayhi salam wonderfully concludes, and this will be our conclusion for a number of episodes, people are of two types. They are either your brothers in faith or your equals in humanity. Thank you for listening to this weekly broadcast. We invite your feedback to continue this dialogue.